What's up guys, MostlyNerdy here. Got a little lag on my video here, but that's okay, you get to enjoy the view a little bit more. We are out of the catacombs. We are headed toward Irithyll. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. I don't know all these words. Some of them are pretty intense. But try to cross the bridge. This guy's like, no thanks. No thanks. I don't want that. So, right off the bat, this area just seems like it's going to be pretty difficult. This guy's got some pretty strong physical attacks, and he also has some lightning attacks, as you can see, so be aware of that. He is easy to avoid, even though I am not doing that. I'm trying to do that as I say that it's easy, and then I'm failing. He does have that where he opens up and you can get him with a critical hit, and then he wags his tail a little bit, and you can see my health went down whenever he did that. So watch out for that whenever you go in for that kill. But after you beat this guy, it's fine because there's a bonfire right after this. Like literally right after this. They just assumed people were gonna die, but I am so good that I didn't even die. I just literally, I think I had like 1 HP left, so you know, whatever. So come up here and pick this up, homeward bound, nice. And then come through here, and there's that bonfire I was talking about. There's a decent amount of items in this area, and I think I missed some of them my first time through. I didn't miss the one right in front of me. Don't worry, guys. Pick that one up, because I'm going to pick that one up. There you go. But there are some more items that are kind of camouflaged a little bit because of the way that the background is against the glow. It's not super apparent, and there's that one that I completely missed. I eventually picked it up, don't worry. So we are going to come up these stairs eventually, don't worry, we'll get to it. But we're going to come up these stairs, don't worry about that. That scared the bejesus out of me. But it's just some kind of phantom, not even like the kind that can attack you or whatever. But if you come up here, there's this gate. It's locked. I actually missed it filming whenever I went through here, but I'll show you how to get to it. But whenever you come up these stairs, there's actually 3 of these enemies. So these guys are very capable of killing you. Just one of them's capable of killing you, much less 3. So depending on your build and your resistances and your defense and stuff, they can easily kill you. I am horrible against magic, I guess. I think I am. So they can get you. One of them comes up from the stairs on the right once you hit a certain point, and after you kill them, go ahead and go up those stairs and grab the item. I think I also got that after I was filming, so just be aware that that one is going to be triggered after you get to a certain point. But divide and conquer, as always, good strategy. I say that in every video because it works. Whenever they're holding their shields up, depending on what your weapon is, it's pretty easy to knock it down. So I take it that they are not that good against physical damage. Take them out, and then go ahead and just ignore this part because there's nothing there. Just go up the stairs, and you'll be introduced to a couple other new enemies, and they're gonna seem like they're pretty easy, but they can become kind of a pain a little bit later on. These ones weren't too bad, but take them out and then pick up the items here, and then we are going to go towards that path there, and I am going to die. So I'm going to transition because I was completely unaware of the attacks that this guy had. So there's this guy, and then he has 3 of the little guys with him, so you want to try to take them out first. What I did was I tried to lure them over. Just be aware that that guy has some pretty solid range attacks. You saw how he can make the flames come up from underneath you. So watch out for that while you're doing this. They're just going to pester you if you try to fight all of them at once. He's not that difficult once you figure out that he doesn't really attack you that well from close range, as he just stabbed me and slammed me to the ground. But he is kind of the guy who fights at range. Like, he's the guy who's fighting in a weight class that he's way too big for because he cut a bunch of weight, and his arms are 10 inches longer than everybody else's. So once you take him out, there's an item there on the left in the snow that I think I missed. Either that or I pick it up after I fight these guys. But take these 3 guys out, and then I guess I do pick up the item. It's right here. So another clump, and then there is an enemy on some stairs above you. Once you get to a certain point, he'll start attacking you. See, right there is where he attacks you from. But if you run and take this left, there is a little guy that's going to give you some stuff. I guess I already got him. But there is an illusionary wall on the left. You need to hit that, and then that will take you to the other side of that gate. That's what I was talking about. I missed it my first playthrough of this area, so I didn't record it whenever I actually did it. But there's some stuff there that you're going to want to get. And then it just takes you right back to where we first fought those 3 enemies who look like this enemy. So there's only 2 of them on this one, so if you can kill them quick enough, you don't really have to worry as much about getting overwhelmed or anything like that. So go ahead and take them out, and then I'm going to ignore that guy for now, but if you attack him and you kill him, there's some items behind him too. So pick up this item here, which is some souls, which is always good, and then go ahead and just ignore what's ahead of you because it's going to be quite the battle if you try to take everything on. There is actually an item right next to me that I missed right here, so pick that up. Don't be like me. Pick it up. I mean, it's going to help you. If you go into this church, then there's a bonfire. So go ahead and light the bonfire and then rest. And this is going to be a huge help for you guys. So I missed this whenever I played through. So I ended up, well, I picked this up. That's a item for your covenants. But Henri's right there. If you talk to Henri, if you've already killed Horse the Hush, I hadn't killed him at this point because I did a lot of stuff out of order. But basically, there is an enemy in the corner, and you're going to want to kill that enemy because I'm pretty sure that he's the reason that I didn't get to go on a date with Henri. So make sure you get that guy. And even though I didn't actually get him in this one, I'll show you where he is. There are some statues in that corner, and I think he's pretending to be a statue. So go to that statue corner and just start swinging away like it was signs or something. And then pick up that item after coming down the stairs. And then whenever you come out here, there's an item off in the distance, and it's basically kind of a trap. Not really that great of a trap. So you pick up the Fading Soul, and then you get a couple of these guys. So nothing like super dangerous or anything like that, but you know, whatever. Figured I'd tell you. The real reason to come out here is and go this way is for something behind a headstone. So you'll pick up this item here, and it's not a trap, don't worry. But there is an enemy right there. He has the red eyes, so you would think that he's going to be tough, but he's not, so don't worry about that. And then pick up the Homeward Bone, and then don't forget to check the back side of this for an Undead Bone Shard, which I still haven't done anything with at this point, but start doing it if you haven't, because it helps you not die as much. Not as frequently. I mean, well, I still die frequently, but it's supposed to help, guys, but I'm just not very good. Okay, anyway, so come down this path, and I'm going to kind of see that there's that guy in the corner. So this is whenever I said that they were kind of annoying, because they kind of camouflage themselves. So I started to go this way, but really that corner is a dead end and there's some items to get. So we're going to backtrack. Also, I see all those eyes down there. So I spent that entire time without a shield. You see all those enemies down there? That's whenever I turn around and I go, I wonder what's in that corner. So this is a dead end, but you can see that there's items there, and there are some enemies, so don't just go charging in there. They're going to come from right there. They're dogs, which I am not very good against. For someone who likes speed and precision, I am horrible against speed and precision. So just take out the dogs, and then we can get these items and then be on our merry way. So there's that item in the corner, and then that's a kukri. Oh, there's another dog. I'm assuming that got triggered, but I made quick work of that guy. But you want to pick that up. That item is going to help you with item discovery, I think, is what that does. I don't know, I've been trying to pick up the Covenant items offline, so I think that's what that does. But if you go down this path, you're gonna want to get your torch out if you're looking for anything specific. But basically you're just gonna drop down and into the pit of all those enemies, because there's no ladder. I thought there was a ladder there, that's why I'm kind of hesitating. I know that there's a ladder across the way because I saw it, but basically you're just gonna drop down, and I didn't really check this area for items or anything because I kind of went into panic mode. So I was just jumping around, trying not to die, and making a V-line for the ladder. So make it across the ladder, and then we're going to walk across some beams here. This is where torch is probably pretty good. I mean, you can see where you're going, but not really that well. So you can pick this up, and then make your way across, and you can see that the enemies, one, followed me up the ladder, and two, they're attacking me with distance attacks. So that's something to be aware of, on top of them being able to basically camouflage themselves. So if you drop down here, there is going to be a opening, and then it looks like there's a platform there, but I'm not going to drop down there just because we are going to end up there anyway. So You can really take either way you want, but there is that platform down there to drop down to get that item. But like I said, either way works, so I'm just going to take the stairs. So there are more enemies that are camouflaged there, as you can see from the stabbing that happened to me. And then down there you can see the item, and we're going to head towards that item that we saw from up at the top of the stairs first. There is actually a message saying that it's an illusionary wall, basically. So you can get your Titanite stuff from this guy, and then head back out so that we can get attacked by a bunch of the camouflage guys. So you can kind of see them, their eyes and stuff. They're there. And whenever you attack one of them, all of them are going to come at you. So be aware that you might not want to stay in that little area. You might want to give yourself some room to roll, because everybody likes to roll in a panic. So there's about 5 of them in this area. So if you can make good quick work of one of them at a time, then it's not that big a deal, but they could easily get you into a loop of hitting you. I've seen it. I've experienced it. So there's this guy who shoots at you from a distance, and then there was that one in the corner who comes up from behind to attack you. And we can pick that up and head towards the water. So you can drop down there, or you can use the stairs. Either way works. I'm just going to use the stairs because I'm going for role playing. So I wouldn't drop down there if I was a guy in real life. I would take the stairs like a normal person, right? So pick up the item, and it's green blossom, and then we can go towards this other item. So if you go to pick up this item, there is an enemy right next to it. You can attack the enemy first and kill it before you even pick that up. And then you won't have to worry about it. You just can't log on to the enemy because it's trying to hide. But as scary as these things look, because I hate spiders, it's not super hard to beat or anything. It can poison you, or it's either poison or toxic. I don't know. They look very similar in terms of the build. So, but we're gonna head towards another area here. If you get kind of confused on where to go, you can stay on this left path, and it basically takes you where you want to go. But I see that item off in the distance, so I'm gonna go get that real quick. And it's some souls, which I like my souls. Everybody likes their souls. I think that there's some items back that way too. I don't think there's anything that way, but I'm pretty sure, since I see some enemies floating in the water and some bloodstains, that there's going to be something worth getting, and there's the item. So, like I said, you can attack these things before they attack you. And it's a good strategy to use, because if they're hiding like this, just because you hit one doesn't mean that other ones come after you. So you can literally just kill them one at a time, and then you don't have to worry about it. So if you're having an issue with this area because you keep trying to pick stuff up or whatever, and they keep attacking you, then that might be a good way to fix that. But run over there, pick up your item, make your guy stronger, whatever, depending on your build. Once again, sorceries and stuff like that don't really do anything for me, but maybe I will fix that at some point. You can always go to Rosario's bedchamber and change your tributes and stuff. But going back towards the left wall, because there's nothing that way, and you can see that there is an item there anyway, you can head towards it, swipe at nothing, because it's Dark Souls and you think everything's a bad guy. So you can fat roll through this, and then there's this area, which we'll skip right now, but you're going to go through that area anyway. If we go, there's nothing down that way. If we go through the doorway here, we're going to see that there is a bonfire, and we love bonfires. So, rejoice at the bonfire, whatever. And then there was a bunch of messages here about stuff, and I was confused, and I thought it was illusionary walls, but I don't think it was. So we can run back the way we came so that we can go up underneath this bridge. And this bridge has it has the spider enemies. They're like all over the place, so you can easily get overwhelmed and get hit in the back frequently, and that's never fun. But there are some items down here, and this path is going to be something that we need to take anyway. So pick up the items, as well as any of the items that the enemies drop, because they do drop some items every once in a while. And you can see that he hit me with the toxic, so I'm not going to make the intoxicated joke again. There's a few enemies here, and you can kill them one by one. And in this corner, this item is actually the ashes of one of the vendors that you have, and you can save him. I just did not save him. Basically, you want to get the NPC out of the well by the cleansing chapel, and you do that by getting his armor, and then I think that he saves him. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Take it from the guy who didn't do it. After a while, I realized how many souls I had and that I could level up, so I went and did that. So since you're pretty close to a bonfire, you can go ahead and do that too. Just know that all these enemies are going to come back if you do that. This item here is some ashes to give to the handmaiden at Firewing Shrine. I don't think it gives you a lot of good stuff. It's covered in poopy. Anyway, so if you save the NPC, which I did after I filmed all this, he will be sitting here with Estes soup and stuff, and you guys have a bonding moment. You guys are like best friends now. He will have saved, hopefully, the vendor that I let die. So make sure you get him out of the well before you send the thief to scavenge for more stuff. Whenever you come into this room, there's going to be a knight in the distance that you can fight. Be aware that you are going to be getting shot at the entire time you try to fight this guy, unless you lure him out of the room. You see how I just got shot at, and I'm getting lucky so far. I think I am probably about to get hit because it's Dark Souls. So just know that you're going to be getting shot at, and the attacks from a distance do quite a bit of damage because you can see how big the arrow is that is in my leg. I took an arrow to the knee circa 2013 or whatever that was. But There's no path to the enemy who was shooting at you, but you can see that he is up above you. So what you actually want to do is run to the left and take this doorway right here and head up the stairs. And there's actually a couple of knights up here, one that fights you close range while you're getting shot at. But I don't think you have to worry too much about that, because I think the pillars for the most part protect you. So just focus on this guy for now. He has the same attacks, still powerful, still does a decent amount of damage. And after you take him out, we can take out the guy who was shooting at us, get some sweet revenge. Once you close the distance, he pulls out his sword and shield, and that shield is going to be a pain for me because he uses it quite effectively until I get that backstab. So that is one of the things to be aware of. Is it's kind of hard to power through that shield, at least for my build. I'm sure that for other weapons and stuff like that, it is quite easy. So, but they use that shield like it saves their lives, because it saves their lives. And then after that, head down the hallway here. We're gonna stay up here because there's some stuff back here. And it's gonna be sweet because there's 3 chests, and I am convinced that one of them is a mimic, but that one's good. So divine blessing, and then nope. So pick that one up, and then hammer, and look at that. All 3 of them are just normal chests. Who would have thought? So after you pick up all that stuff, you can head back down. But if you break those, apparently you get some status. I think it's frost to you. So you can head out this way. Be aware that there are some bloodstains. I am not sure if that's from the knights or what, so I get really scared. So, because it's Dark Souls. And then it says pointless ahead. So I thought that meant illusionary wall, but it's pretty pointless. So head towards these stairs, and there's some more of the camouflaged enemies coming up. So be aware that they're going to start shooting at you from a distance. But there's that item there. There's a dog. And so there's dogs and there's the camouflage guys. You can see that they already started shooting me. So pick up the soul and close the distance to the enemies, because they start to show up as you get closer. Not that it's that difficult here, because they're basically putting a blue light right above their heads. But be aware that there are more dogs and more enemies that will attack you while you're doing this. So it's easy to get hit in the back, obviously. So go ahead and just keep making your way straight forward. You can see that there's still even more enemies, and there's some on the stairs there, and more dogs. So as always, any melees, try to separate the path that the ranged weapons will hit you and the melee enemies to divide and conquer. And then just make a V-line for the enemies so they're not attacking you anymore, because they can be quite the nuisance. And it looks like maybe there's just one left. No, there's one in the corner there, I think. So take them out, and then nope, that's an item. So we can pick up the item, and then I said thrust, so I tried to hit, but it didn't do anything. But if you go off to the right here, there is this elevator. So anytime there's an elevator, there's a dilemma. Do I take the elevator and risk instant death of having to fight a boss? And the answer on this one is yes, because this is a shortcut. It's going to take you back to the area where the church bonfire is, basically. So this is the path that we didn't take before, and then these are the stairs where we took right before the church, where Henri was, and there is the bonfire, so you can level up, fill your flask, all that stuff. So you can see I already messed up, and Henri's gone. I don't know if she'd be gone if I had done what I said earlier in the video, or not, but she's gone. So if you go up this path real quick, you can grab this item that's right here, and then you'll see that there is an enemy down there, and then you see a gate kind of off in the distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take on these enemies right now and die. So transition, and there are the two enemies that were just walking in this path, that one of them followed me, or I got too close to one of them, so but you can see that they're already starting to attack me from in there, and then you can see that I'm running away because I'm scared, but I was trying to lure them, but it didn't really seem like it was working. And then I also saw this item finally, so pick that up if you haven't already. But really, those enemies will just keep walking out that walkway until they get to you. So watch out for that. Distance attack from that enemy and try to lure out the other two or three, or how many there are. I think it's just two right now. That way you can just single them out. And you can see he's not even looking at me and he still got me. So that's possible. Don't think that just because he can't see you doesn't mean that he won't hit you. So anytime you see the flames underneath your feet, get out of dodge, and then you can see I tried to take both of them on at the same time and my health got pretty low. So I definitely do not recommend that, even whenever I'm trying to evade and recoup. They're still charging after me. You can see that this guy is trying to do some distance stuff too. And I couldn't dodge it, so whatever. He'll just keep doing that, I guess. So you can close in, try to avoid getting attacked by the other guy while you finish that guy off. So you got one left, and at this point you fought a few of these, or at least a couple of them, depending on how many times you died. If it was like me, then it was probably 100. So you can take that guy out, and then this area still has at least one other enemy. There's one. This is the one you were standing over, so if you drop down and did like a plunging attack on this guy, this is where you would end up. So we can get rid of him and then pick up the souls and go up here, and then that gate right in front of you is going to end up being a shortcut eventually. But right now we're just going to pick this item up, and we'll get that other item above that in a little bit. But there is one other enemy right here. Not completely necessary to fight this guy, but I'm going to. I think I'm pretty close to leveling up, and they give you a decent amount of souls. So come back and get that here in a second. And then I think that was an illusionary wall for an item, so you can pick that up. And then we'll go ahead and head back to the main path. So head towards the elevator you just took, and make your way back to the area with all of the invisible enemies. So if you rested or anything like that, then enemies are going to be back. So be aware of that. I have a tendency to forget sometimes for some reason, and the dogs will follow you from kind of far away, so make sure that you're paying attention to the noises around you so that you don't end up getting bitten in the booty. I get bit in the booty a lot in this game. I think that's it. I'm gonna trademark that. That's a good phrase. Anyway, so there's that item. We're gonna come back to that. I think either that or I forgot about it. Probably forgot about it. As you come in here, there's a decent amount of the camouflaged enemies. I was kind of surprised at how many there were. Also, if you break the furniture, or at least some of it, like the base, you end up getting frostbitten. At least if you stand in it like I did. So try not to stand in it like I did. That's just bad gaming. That's bad gaming, dude. So take them out, and then oh man, there's still so many of them. So try to avoid getting hit from a distance. If you try to roll, make sure that you can roll, because I couldn't roll. I just said roll like 18 times. So finally clear the room, because there is quite a few of them. If you go down that ladder there, then that is going to take us to where that item was, and we'll end up picking that up. So I don't think there was anything else down here, so that's another path you can take. I wouldn't recommend it, because anytime I take a ladder and there's enemies right next to it, I end up getting hit a bunch of times before I can even react. So just make your way through, and we'll end up out here, and there's some bloodstains, so we gotta assume that there's some enemies, and pick up that soul, and we'll head back up the stairs here. And this is the area before the boss fight. So there's a couple of these enemies right here, and that one just gave up because it heard how good I was. It watches my YouTube and was like, I'm not going to be able to beat this guy. So there's the other one. So just take this guy out. At this point, plenty of experience fighting them, so you should be able to do it quite easily. And then there is an item that you can drop down and pick up right there. I'm not going to do it right now, but that's how you get that item that was in that area with the 2 fire enemies. And then you can come down these stairs and be aware that there are a couple of enemies. I was trying to read that, and he just came up. What a jerk. Anyway. So there's that one, but there's also another one who tried to sneak up on me. So you can take him out and then pick up the item here, which is an ember, which is nice, and then open this up for a shortcut. So if you go straight ahead from this, it takes you to the bonfire at the church. So be aware of that. And this shortcut is going to be a saving grace for you, because you are about to die. You are about to die so many times, and there's going to be so many rage quits unless you get lucky like I do sometimes. But I swear this boss killed me about 50,000 times. I don't even know if that's an exaggeration. That might be an exaggeration or hyperbole, but I don't know. I lost count. My brain wasn't working by the time I was done fighting this guy. So basically, this guy is the hardest boss that I've had to fight so far, and I feel like a lot of people agree. basically the reason that I was lucky enough to beat this guy is because I was able to get an NPC and another person to help me fight this guy. So if you're having problems, there is the Black Hand NPC who can help, and then you can also get another player to help. It helps them, they get their covenant item, and they get souls and all this stuff, so it's a win-win for everybody. But I mean, this guy does a lot of magic damage and a lot of fire damage, and it doesn't seem like my attacks do much in terms of how much damage I do. But eventually, once you do enough damage to him, he kind of splits off, and he has him and then basically a phantom version of himself, and they will both attack you. And that's why one of the reasons it's good to have somebody to cause a distraction for one of them, so that you're only fighting one at a time. And I got lucky because the other player that I summoned was a beast against this guy, so shout out to him for helping me out. And then because my brain was just not working, he's gonna take a bow, and I'm gonna celebrate, but he's gonna be gone. He's not even gonna see me doing that. So we're gonna say we're done here because my brain couldn't process anything after this. So like, subscribe. We're gonna beat this game together, and as always, guys, stay nerdy, and thanks for watching.